In today's video, can you be a vegan bodybuilder?
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about the idea of being a vegan bodybuilder and also about the idea of cardio and how it affects you. And the question came from my Instagram direct message, so if you're not following along on my Instagram, well, I'd be grateful if you did. And then if you send me a direct message like this person here did, well, I can answer it for you guys. And I want to thank everybody. I've been getting so much positive feedback in my Instagram that it just really makes me excited to do these videos. So let's get started and talk about today's topic, which I'll put on the screen. So this person messaged me saying that they've been consulting with some bodybuilders and that perhaps the information, it's not the best information, and they wanted to confirm with me. So, you know, this is a lot of the things that used to go on in this sport. I think probably more so, 20 years ago, before the internet was a thing, and before that, you got a lot of your information from the person in the gym who looked the best. Not necessarily because what they did was the best approach. Something I often say is that oftentimes people look good in spite of what they're doing, not because of what they're doing is optimal. Well, why is that? Well, because when it comes down to the physique science, the physique sport, the number one factor in all of this is genetics, okay? Some people just wake up and look amazing, okay? They're born with these given gifts, okay? They don't need to lift weights like most of us mortals do, okay? They don't need to watch their diet like most of us mortals do. But for those of us like myself that have a pretty good physique but are trying to take it to that elite level, well, this is where, science, education, evidence can really help us get better. And when we have bad information out there, like this person was getting, it can really hurt the process and really kind of turn people off to the sport of bodybuilding, which I think is a shame. So the first part of the question that is brought up is about being a vegan. They mentioned that, you have to eat meat and fish in order to build muscle. And while certainly meat and fish are great sources of protein, well, I've got a couple examples here of people that are doing very well in the sport of bodybuilding and are vegan. So I'm going to highlight my client and a friend of mine named Tori Washington, both of whom are vegan. The reason I met Tori is because of Natalie. Okay, and Tori won his IFBB Pro card as a natural vegan last year. So if you can't build muscle as a vegan, well then who can? Now, if you want to know more information on how to become a great vegan athlete, well, follow my friend Natalie Matthews on Instagram, and I'll put the YouTube page for Natalie here as well in the description box. You can click on her. She has a great YouTube channel. She has things like recipes and stuff. So when I work with an athlete who's vegan, what do I change? I really don't change much, okay? Now, I used to talk to Natalie about that idea because she was the first vegan athlete that has turned pro with me. And so I've had to go through this process of learning how she eats her food. And actually, I spent a weekend with her earlier this year where I ate vegan. And I gotta say, it was pretty dang good. So what Natalie has mastered is the art of being vegan and using the foods at her disposal to hit her protein, carb, and fat goals. And so there are so many options now for vegans and vegetarians that there weren't even, probably 10, 15 years ago, that I have found that it's actually quite palatable, and a lot of the foods mimic the meats that you might normally miss. So, the first thing that I think about is like, how do you get a wide variety of proteins? Well, Natalie has showed me just how to do that, okay? She has some really cool tricks like lupini beans, deli meat slices that she uses that are the vegan deli meat slices. She works with a great protein company that helps her with her protein needs. So, obviously it comes down to the reason behind what you're doing. Now, if you really have a desire to be vegan, well, there is a great resource right there for you in Natalie, and the proof is in the pudding with these people. So yeah, I don't think that there is any reason to believe you cannot be very successful as a vegan, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is she mentions that they said that cardio does not help lose body fat, it only sheds water weight. And so I want to explain exactly what cardiovascular exercise does. In fact, low intensity steady state cardio primarily burns adipose tissue as its fuel source. That's right. the intensity of your exercise dictates what fuel source your body uses. Well, when you're doing low intensity steady state, such as walking for long periods of time, your body gets into a state where it oxidizes adipose tissue. It burns off body fat. That's literally what's happening, okay? It's not using all your glycogen stores in your muscle for low intensity. Why? Because that glycogen storage is meant for explosive movements, okay? Where we're doing things like lifting weights rapidly, okay? Maybe throwing a baseball, hitting a golf ball. Those are going to be primarily glycogen-based movements, okay? They're more explosive. So it's kind of silly to think that cardio has no benefit to fat loss, okay? It has a huge benefit. So I think what you're getting here is just some bad information, and in fact, it's so bad, it's laughable, okay? It's obviously that these people are very misinformed, and they either have their head in their sand, or they just really don't care to learn anything about the process, and they're stuck in the past. So hopefully you're starting to get some good information and you're starting to pay attention to some people that are going to provide you some value. Hopefully I'm somebody like that in this instance, because the one thing I don't like is the idea that people kind of avoid the sport of bodybuilding because they have these preconceived notions that you have to eat every 2 hours, or you have to do everything, all your cardio fasted. Or there's so many ways to get ready for a bodybuilding show. It's more about making your goals fit your lifestyle, and that's certainly a possibility. There's always going to be restriction, and you're going to have to manipulate your schedule in order to be the best you can be, but there's no reason why you have to eat a certain food, and there's no reason why you have to avoid certain foods, okay? So just understand that it's all about setting up a plan that works for you. And if you want to be vegan, good. And if you want to do cardio, good. These are great options. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you're having a great Wednesday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.